Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I've seen you all, and I apologize. I think about you all the time. And, I sound like a broken record, but, sometimes we just let life get in the way of things, and some days I'm so tired I can't think, and sometimes I have my little 20-pound sack of taters on me, and I know we won't get through a whole video, so I don't get started. But there's been several times I've thought about it. We also have stuff everywhere. It seems like all the time there's something going on. And you know what this time of year is. I'm sure lots of you are having graduation parties, or, you had Mother's Day. And unfortunately, we've also had some deaths in our friends and neighbors. And so you end up doing activities with that. Of course, there are life valleys, sicknesses, different things that go on that sometimes hinder us coming together, but it's not because you haven't been on my mind, because you have. And there are things that come up probably every week that I'll say, oh, I need to share this, and something happens and I don't. And I hate that I've lost some of those. I used to be really good about jotting them down real quick, and I guess lately I've been trying to keep myself from becoming overly stressed about things. And I still write a lot, don't get me wrong, but I'm not so focused on some of the things I was before, as far as having every little detail together and every little thing perfect and all those kind of things. But for the last, 3 weeks, I have been putting a Ziploc bag in my purse, like constantly. Every time I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to do a podcast and it's got tubes of toothpaste in it. Well, today I didn't put it in my purse. I actually haven't put it in my purse at all this week. And guess what? Here I am recording a podcast today, and I wanted that for a visual for you, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway without the visual. But I don't know, that visual's been on my mind, so maybe y'all can imagine it. But I had 3 tubes of toothpaste, and I had one that was brand new. Of course, it was full and beautiful and plump, and everything's so wonderful about that tube of toothpaste, because just as soon as you go to put it on your toothbrush that you have immediate toothpaste, you have however much you want, and there's plenty left, and everything's all good. Well, then we have the tube that is semi-full. You might have to squeeze it a little bit from the bottom, keep it, going towards the top. But more than likely, you're going to get some toothpaste. Well, you are going to get some toothpaste no matter what. And then I have one that looks like it has completely been ironed flat. If you go squeeze it, you get nothing. Anytime you sit there and work it up, you're going to get nothing. And the reason why is because you have got to crimp it underneath the top, and you've got to one hand push and grab toothbrush with the other, and you're going to get something out. And I am one of those people. I do this with toothpaste. I do this with the soap pumps. I do this with everything. I just can't throw away that last little bit of toothpaste. And so one day when I was squeezing that one and trying to work it and do it, and I'm talking pinching places you wouldn't know you could pinch, on the top of it where it's hard, doing all this stuff to get this toothpaste out, because I know there's a little bit in there. It came to me that there are some people that think they're all used up, that there's nothing more that they can give, there's nothing more they can do. They have no more purpose but just to exist until their time to go home, to their heavenly home, their eternal home, or however they believe, to the ground. And as I was thinking about that, I thought, no, there's not a person that you can show me that I can't find purpose in. There's not a person that you can show me that I can't show you there's a little more to squeeze out. There's a little more they can give. There's a little more they can do. There's a little more that they can be. Y'all, if you woke up today and you're breathing You have purpose. Okay. So you say, well, I'm stuck in the house and I don't go anywhere and I can't go anywhere and I order my groceries and I do all this and whatever, okay? So you're in a pity party for yourself that you're stuck in the house and you can't do anything. Now, I'm not being cold and saying that way because I know people like this. But if you understand me right now, you understand what I'm saying, you hear me, you see me, you still have purpose and you still can be used. You can still do things. You know, we talked about before, you can make phone calls, you can write notes to people, you can talk to the delivery person. Don't keep them, but just tell them, say, thank you so much for serving in this way, for this job that you do. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. You might have just made their whole day. You have purpose. Do you know, I know someone right now who cannot speak, communicates a little, but do you know that he still has purpose? God still has him here. And we may not understand what his purpose is or what kind of work he's doing, but God can use him just like he can you and I that can talk and freely communicate. So you can't show me someone and tell me they're finished. They're done. They have nothing else left. They have no more purpose, no more service in them, no more anything that they can't do, because you can. So like I said, if it's writing notes to people, if it's calling people, checking in on people, whatever it is, do it. You have something to give. You have something to share. You have love. Now, that brings me to, I don't really talk about politics on here, and I'm still not going to talk about parties or certain affiliations or beliefs or whatever as far as politics. So this is a general thing I'm about to say. There is so much divide and ugliness in our world right now. And it's not just in, New York City or in some other country or in Atlanta or in Chicago or California or wherever. It is everywhere. Everywhere. And it has broken my heart to watch my friends and neighbors and my community divide and fight and break up and be ugly in the local elections. I have been floored. Unfortunately, I expect it in the federal stuff because, that's just whatever. It's not right. Don't get me wrong. It shouldn't be that way. If we are wanting to live like Jesus, is our behavior Christ-like? When you are tearing someone down, when you are bad-mouthing them, when you are bashing them, when you are threatening them, when you are assuming things. I watched something about a year and a half ago with someone very close to me tear somebody down before they even asked the person if they actually did that or meant for that to happen. They immediately took the side that they meant to do that they were dishonest and untrustworthy. They even said it in the court. It's recorded that they called this person dishonest and untrustworthy when they didn't even go to the person in the first place and find out if they did that or meant for that to happen. This is someone they supposedly loved, but instead they believed that they immediately were malicious and wrong and evil. And guess where that got us? Nowhere. It caused them to say, well, if they're not going to believe someone they've known their whole life and that loves them and that has done for them, then I'm just going to let it go. So instead of working on something to be better, they let a friendship or a love or a relationship just dissipate, be gone. The person still loves them, but at a distance. And that's sad. But I'm going to tell you, in this local election, I have watched people that one day claim to be living like Christ, quoting scripture, asking for prayer, telling what they're praying about, how they're living, what they're doing, or what their church is doing, or whatever. And then I'm seeing them on our local social media just slandering and bashing and being just rah. And if you're watching me and listening to me and you're like, I know, I saw somebody doing that, rah, 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 because he was doing this and that and that. Well, what did you do? Because it's not just the political figure that did it. It's all the people I saw talking about it that were doing it too. It didn't stop. So it has crushed me to watch it and to see that there are so many that I had a lot more thought of. Now, we should never put people on pedestals, but I had a lot more respect and credit for them. And it really hurt my heart to see their behaviors. Now, I can't change them. I can't do anything about them. All I can work on is Kristin and teaching my family how to behave properly and respect others. But this is the thing that we've got to do. Now, I'm not perfect. Oh my gosh. We don't even need to go there. It'd be a whole nother hour segment talking about how imperfect I am. And how many times I have to ask forgiveness and I have to work on myself. But I will tell you this. You and I need to look at ourselves and go, okay, how have my behaviors been this week? Have they been Christ-like? When I typed on social media, was it Christ-like? When I spoke to my group of friends at breakfast, was it Christ-like? When I talked to my children or my grandchildren or my sisters or my brothers or whomever, was it Christ-like? Was my behavior like Jesus? Would Jesus be proud of my behavior? If not, okay, it's time to reflect on that and go, okay, Lord, I see now I was wrong, and clean it up. Be better. Do better. Speak better. You know, it's one thing to think it. It's one thing to be mad and talk about it to yourself or write it in your journal or whatever. But when you go and you start typing it out for the whole world to see, and you might think, oh, it's not the whole world. It's only 50 people or 100 people that are in your community, in your backyard, in your church, in your grocery store, in your gym, in your auto body shop. These are people you live with. What are you showing them? I mean, were you the only Bible they were looking at, and all of a sudden the taste is bad, and they go, you know, I don't think I want to be a Christian. I don't think I want to go to church because I don't want to be like so-and-so. Do you know, I had somebody in my work life one time that shared that with me. The reason he didn't go to church was because of a lady that worked there, that was a Sunday school teacher, and she would do all this stuff at work, even for her Sunday school class. And I knew her, and I didn't see the side they saw at work because I only knew her from church and growing up knowing her. But they started telling me her language and about cussing people out and what all she would do and how hateful, and I thought, surely not. But when this gentleman told me one day that that's why he didn't go to church, he said, because I don't want to be a hypocrite like that. Wow. I wouldn't want his blood on my hands. And I tried to talk to him about it, that, you know, this is why we need church, because none of us are perfect, and we're constantly learning and growing, and goodness, we need some direction. And, you know, yes, you can be at home and you can be studying and praying in God's word and be, you know, but it's also good, and some people can't do that on their own, and they need to go have some leadership, somebody to step on your toes and to get you going in the right direction. But it's not about that today. What it's about is Every time you go to type something on social media, or you go to record something, or you go to even talk to somebody, I want you to think, is this Christ-like behavior? Would Jesus say this and do this? You know, my grandmother and my mother always told us, if it doesn't fit in these 3 categories that I'm about to tell you, then you can't say it. If it's not true, necessary, and kind. And it had to fit all 3, because sometimes I'd say, well, it's true. It's not kind, but it's true, and I want to say it. But it wasn't necessary or kind. Or sometimes it might seem like it's true and necessary, but it's not kind. And I'm not saying when you're giving somebody constructive criticism. I'm talking about, the slandering and slashing and bashing and bullying and being ugly. We've gotten so full of that it makes me almost wish we could get rid of social media. And I know we're talking right now and we're using it. It's where we are today. But let's use it for positive. Okay, I've already gone too long. My kids would be like, oh my gosh, Mama, you've gone over. So I didn't have a tripod today. I didn't have helpers. I hadn't had helpers in a while. My helpers are really, really busy right now. And it's a good thing. And they're young and they're starting their careers, and that's good. So I thank you for joining me. I hope you all continue to do fabulously well. But just think, every time you go to speak, say, or do something, is this true, necessary, and kind? And is this Christ-like behavior? That's how I'm working on me. Let's do it together. Love to you all, and bye.